What's up, guys? I want to do a quick follow-up video on the Mayweather IV situation. After a night's sleep, thought about this today. I was working out at lunch. Basically, what I want to talk about is when you look at the timeline, which is what raises all the flags regarding Mayweather using the IV, get the exception request from USADA approved when they had no right to approve it. The authority, they didn't have that. Here's the dilemma. Okay, I think this is how it played out. It went down one of two ways. It's just my opinion, but I'm pretty sure one of them's correct. First one is either Top Rank or Pacquiao's people had a mole in USADA, and they tipped them off about the IV use the night before the fight, and then immediately after the fight, Pac's or Bob's lawyers contacted Mayweather's people and basically subpoenaed for the, hey, we want the medical records, we want the test results of what happened, you know. And then Mayweather basically freaked out, contacted USADA, say, hey, look, man, you know, I gotta produce the results. I need you guys to take care of this. And USADA's like, all right. What do you want us to do? I don't know. You need to do it and do it right. Take care of it. This needs to go away. Do it now, you know. So USADA comes like, all right, well, we'll file an exemption, even though it's after the fight, okay, which makes no sense. And basically, hopefully, we can push this through, and nobody will raise an eyebrow. Well, that's not what happened. And somebody raised an eyebrow. Or the other scenario, and I actually think this is more likely. The Nevada Sports Commission, I think, checked in and asked USADA to look at the results, the status, you know, basically what's going on with both fighters. And I don't know about you guys, but I know that it was reported a lot about when Pacquiao was getting tested, but we never heard nothing about Mayweather. Did you think that was odd? I thought that was really, really fishy, you know. Even though, and I know USADA's in Mayweather's back pocket, basically Al Heyman's back pocket. It is what it is, you know. So obviously they haven't been testing him, in my opinion. And they said, look, you need to go test him. And then, well, he's at home. Well, I don't care. You find him and track him down, and you need to test him right now. They test him. Maybe there's a bunch of people involved. When there's the more people, the more doubt you have about trust. And somebody talked to somebody, and Mayweather got shook up about it, you know, he got scared. So I think that's what happened, how this came out in the open. I think that Mayweather was trying to mask some type of PED. Now granted, I've always suspected, based on, you know, everything we hear about, you know, how he came up hot in the boxing community. People, insiders were whispering, you know, hey, he's failed a few drug tests, you know. But I don't think it's for strength. I think it's purely for stamina and recovery. And of the two, what's the better benefit? You know, I would definitely say that the stamina recovery PED is more beneficial to the fighter. They can last longer, and in this case, you know, it plays to Mayweather's favor because he uses a lot of movement. You know, he does that little you know, side step, rolling around the ring, sideways, hopping around. Well, anyway, I'm getting off topic. I think that now that this is out, I think that there's a lot of repercussions going to come down. A lot of things are going to happen. I think that the fight's going to be declared a no contest. I hope that a lot of money is taken from Mayweather and put towards a charity or a good cause or something. And I think he needs to be suspended. And I think when he comes back from that suspension, if he were to fight again, let's say it is Pacquiao, VADA's involved, only VADA, and that they fight on a neutral site, either in Texas or in New York, something like that. I think USADA is going to be basically a house of cards. It just fell off the table, and they've been exposed because they've been exposed before with Morales and that whole, them telling Morales and his people that he ate contaminated meat on 4 different occasions. I mean, really? The guy was hot. Well, unfortunately, I think that Mayweather's been doing this for a while. I think that he's always been an advantage. Now, I'm not talking about the A-side advantages. I'm talking about, either, excuse me, the fighter that he faces, either they're clean, or if they're dirty, they're scared, and they know that USADA is on a witch hunt to get them in favor of Mayweather. And while Mayweather can do what he needs to do, and everything's, they look the other way. It is what it is. All I know is the Nevada Sports Commission, Athletic Commission, they're going to be the only ones that come out of this standing tall. And it's a shame that, I mean, it's so obvious. We don't even have to have an opinion on it. I mean, the facts are the facts. When Pacquiao's camp went to USADA and said, hey, we'd like to take the shot for the shoulder, which is legal, USADA never reported it to the commission. And then they do favors for Mayweather and try to push something through 3 weeks after a fight that took place. So, I mean, they've stepped on it. They're done. I hope. I know they signed a contract at UFC, MMA, something I heard. I just hope they're removed from boxing and it just kind of snowballs from there, and they get out of sports completely. They don't use Olympic style drug testing. VADA does, but they don't. That one guy, the CEO or whatever, takes credit for busting Lance Armstrong. If I'm not mistaken, Lance Armstrong got busted because his peers got busted, and they knew that Armstrong was taken, and it probably was, encouraged by Armstrong and, sharing the same dealers at Balco, and that's how Armstrong got caught. It's kind of like the guy that turns in his brother who's a serial killer, and then the chief of police takes all the credit for it. But no, it's the brother who turned him in, But anyway, getting off topic, I think this is good. I'm glad that, Mayweather's being exposed for what he is, because he's been stealing from the fans. He puts up duds all the times. He talks about, I just saw an interview with him, from last week, talking about sweet science, and that's the most important accomplishment in his career. He gets hit. I mean, he hits and doesn't get hit, and he's got his health and all this crap, but the sweet science is really, that's not what the sweet science is. The sweet science is, orthodox fighters got the right foot outside the right foot of the opponent, or southpaws got their left foot outside their left foot, and using movement, controlling distance, moving, weaving, turning the fighter, hitting, and making the other fighter miss, and then being in position to hit the other fighter again. That's a sweet science. Pernell Whitaker's is a good study of the sweet science for a defensive fighter. He was in front of you all the time and made people miss and hit them. But anyway, it's just crazy. I'm glad that it's getting a lot of press. I'm thankful for the author that came out with the SB Nation article. It was very thorough. It looks like to me he worked on it for about 18 months to 2 years, and basically that's why it's coming out now, because you just don't run with something. You really got to do your homework, and I think he was coming out with something right after the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, and then boom, this came to light, and like, oh, you know, had to hold steady and get more information to close out the article. Good journalism. I'll tell you what was bad journalism, and I'm a big fan of Elliot Seabach, ES News reporting. You know, I like him as, you know, talking to the fighters, respectful with all the fighters, regardless how good they are. You know, if they're a prize fighter or an up-and-coming, young, hungry fighter, he treats everybody the same. But he came out with a video defending Mayweather, talking about everybody does it. I've never heard of that, and I read all the blogs. What he should have done is just kept his mouth shut. I know he doesn't want to burn bridges. He wants to be able to go in the Mayweather gym. He wants access to Mayweather's promotional company fighters. But if you got nothing to bring to the table, just don't put out a video, you know? So he kind of, you know, embarrassed himself with that video, talking about, I've seen fighters, we'll name them. Simple as that. If you know, but that won't happen. And so basically what you're saying didn't happen. But there's a lot of fights this weekend, and it's kind of funny that I think the Mayweather-Berto fight's at the bottom of the totem pole. Like, I don't think anybody really cares. I think they'll look the next morning, see who won, but I don't even think people care about watching it the following week on Showtime when they air it. I'll be paying attention if I'm up on Twitter, but if Berto gets lucky or whatever. But I tell you what, it is going to be... he's going to get booed out of the stadium, and I just hope, like I said before, they lay into him during the press conference, because he never answers a question. I think he just did I was watching Thunderdome Boxing, and they're talking about a video just came out, interview with Fox News, and he wasn't going soft on Mayweather. He's asking him good questions, you know, really, you know, pushing him a little bit, and Mayweather didn't answer nothing. He locked up, you know, he double talk, double speak. He doesn't tell the truth. He doesn't admit guilt. He doesn't, there's no resolution with him. He doesn't apologize. You know, you ever hear him apologize to the girls that he hit? Baby's mama? No, nothing. I could go on and on, but I'm just glad that we get to see Mayweather who he truly is, and, you know, the disservice he's been doing to boxing, because he's held up a lot of fighters. He hasn't played by the rules. He hasn't upheld the integrity of boxing and its history, respected its history. Doesn't take on his mandatories unless it's like the WBA, where Berto gets moved from like 32 all the way up mysteriously to 1. I mean, he doesn't fight his mandatory, he doesn't unify, and, you know, he just takes our money. It's on him, you know. Rich for doing it too. But that's all I got, guys. I kind of got a little winded there at the end. But I really do think that either Nevada, the commission said, look, we want to see the results. USADA didn't have any, and they told him go get over quickly to his house and get some. And then boom, they saw him with the IVs. Or there was a mole in Mayweather's camp, like he's notorious for saying. He's always got moles in the opponent's camp, like he did at the final press conference when Berto's telling him, yeah, you went to your gym at 3 o'clock in the morning and you lost too much weight, so you didn't train. Yeah, man, I know exactly what you're doing. It's lack of confidence right there. You got to brag about that. So I don't know. Maybe Mayweather, his head won't be in the right place because he's been outed. and Berto will be able to capitalize. Two cheaters going up against each other. What more could you ask? That's all I got. Thanks. Bye.